Glenn Beck Program.
People, we have a show to do. Welcome to the Glenn Beck Program. It is Wednesday, and yesterday, I think it was very, very powerful when Joe Biden was at the Ford factory, and he said, now, a lot of people think that, he was kind of hard to understand, but when he says, I think everybody really understands. Only Biden haters would say that he was. You know what I'm saying? We start with Joe Biden. Oh my gosh. We start there in 60 seconds. And I remember when I had little kids rubbing my legs in the pool. And, I'm not supposed to talk about it. I get in trouble if and so here I am, and I'm here with, look at the pretty red truck behind me. So yesterday, all right, enough. Yesterday in Dearborn, the president visited the Ford Rouge Electric Vehicle Center. Ooh, electric vehicles. It's electric. Bum, 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 ba-dum. The electric vehicle, the only thing that really everybody seems to be pushing, and I don't know if they understand that little magic box that you plug it into. That's not a magic box. I mean, the energy comes from someplace, not the wall. It comes from usually a coal-fired plant. Isn't that weird? Wow. Anyway, he promoted his highly unpopular $2 trillion infrastructure bill by saying that electric cars. And then he talked about his great-grandpop, who was a coal miner. Here's what he said.
My dad used to say, Joey, and I swear to God, when he left Scranton, when coal died, my dad was he was a salesperson. He wasn't a coal miner. My great-grandpop was, but.
Well, his great-grandpop was, my great-grandpop was, great-grandpop was a coal miner. And I remember he was singing that song that Loretta Lynn stole from my great-grandpop. And he was a coal miner down there, and I remember he has to have coal dust on his face. A lot of people think that was blackface, but it wasn't. It was definitely, if you see a picture of my grandpop, it was coal dust. That's what that was. Except his grandpop wasn't a coal miner, and he knows that. Well, he knew that at one point. Here he is in 2004 on the Jon Stewart Show. Listen to this.
Hey, look, everybody tells you just, don't take any chances, because the truth of the matter is I've gotten myself in trouble. And hell, I might be president now if it weren't for the fact I said I had an uncle who was a coal miner. It turned out I didn't have anybody in the coal mines, you know what I mean?
Really?
I tried that crap, it didn't work,
You believed it?
I actually believed it. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I figured there had to be a coal miner somewhere in the family.
Nothing, huh?
Nothing.
And the audience roared with laughter. Isn't that great? So he was talking about Grandpa yesterday, which Grandpa was not in the coal mines. Now, we've heard for a long time that the greatest liar of all time was Donald Trump. Well, I beg to differ with you. And it's not the great-grandpa thing. It is probably a little more to do with, I'm moderate. I'm right of center, and I'm going to be a moderate. You can trust that. I'm standing behind Israel. Well, you're going to have to see whether I cancel oil pipelines or not. And I'm going to stand against Russia and their oil pipeline too, because we've got to stop oil.
The problem here is, no, not so much. Yesterday, Biden gave the green light for the Russian pipeline after shutting down our pipeline. Now, just so you know, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, Stinkin, Winkin, I don't remember his name, he pledged before the Senate during his confirmation hearing to block the pipeline's full construction. I'm determined to do whatever we can to prevent that completion of the Nord Stream pipeline. That's what he said in front of Congress. Now, Blinken might have been winking and nod. I'm not really sure. He might have nodded off for a little nappy nap.
Could I take a nap at 2 o'clock? It gets very late in the afternoon, and I get a little bit sleepy.
So I don't know if he missed the window of opportunity before Biden greenlit the Russian pipeline. This is something we're against. We've been against since Reagan, because once you allow Russia in to provide oil and gasoline to Europe, they are a slave to Russia. Why would we do that? Every president has said we shouldn't really allow that pipeline.
No more.
Now, let me ask you this. You cancel the Keystone pipeline, and that makes us dependent on energy elsewhere. We're no longer, I think we are right now, but we're not projecting to be energy independent or oil independent in the very near future. So you do that. Then the Colonial pipeline goes down, which you don't even mention the gas prices, up $1 now.
Well, we got to stop all of the pipelines and stuff.
Then you go and you tell that company who had their pipeline hijacked by Russia, you tell them,
well, it's a private issue and you pay the money. I mean, sure, negotiate with terrorists.
And then the next week, you grant pipelines to Russia into Europe? Excuse me? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, no matter how much they say I am. I'm really not, but I would bet you that you could make a pretty strong case of Russian interference. What, doesn't that look like doing a favor for Russia? Oh, by the way, the Republicans grilled the top spy lawyer nominee because he's he'll be the intelligence community top lawyer. Unfortunately for him, he did some work for the Chinese government and Huawei. Huawei, that's the 5G company. That's the 5G company that when the Wuhan virus, did he say Wuhan? Yes, because it's a fun word to say. When the Wuhan virus was unleashed onto the world, Huawei, another fun word to say, and which is owned by the Chinese and in bed with the Chinese Communist Party army, they went around the world and said, you're not going to get any PPEs unless you sign up to let Huawei build your 5G infrastructure. That's who we're dealing with. Huawei is with the military in China. The pipeline for 5G, 4G, let's say that's a size of a garden hose. If I compare 4G to a garden hose, 5G would be the size of the channel. You know, the tunnel connecting England and France. That's how big 5G is. So that pipeline is a two-way street. Not only is it sending information, it's also sucking out information. I don't think we should help Huawei in any way, but don't worry. Our chief spy lawyer is all over it. I bet it was undercover work. They didn't know. Meanwhile, cyber experts warn the pipeline hack could be just the beginning. No, really? I never thought of that. Apparently, when the hackers targeted the Colonial Pipeline, which transports more than 100 million gallons of gasoline every day. Let me say that again. 100 million gallons of gasoline every day. It led to several governors declaring states of emergency. People were in long lines. Gas stations were closed. But the United States solved it. They did. Sure they did. Well, the Colonial Pipeline people sent them $90 million. Sent the hackers $90 million in ransom. Oh, they had a good payday. Doesn't that make you happy that the Russian hackers are $90 million richer? I know it is for me. Last thing we should do is, well, wait a minute, maybe it should be the first thing we do is grant Russia that pipeline in Europe. That would be the kindly, neighborly thing to do. We would just get on Putin's good side. Hey, we'll give you the pipeline. We're not, no strings attached. We're not even going to bring up the hackers. We just think that maybe if you have time, just look into your heart, Putin, or that space where your heart is supposed to be, and remember the favor we just did you. Can you call your thugs off and the cyber criminals? Yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, sure. And in South Texas today, they're expecting 6 feet of snow.